Let's take a look at where we are now at this point in the training. The basic proposal of Zen is this. Your OS is distorting reality in the process of presenting it to you. All the mysterious talk in Zen and Buddhism in general about awakening is simply about how to stop this process so that you can step into what is really going on in the world. The way your OS distorts the world, and thus your experience of being alive, is by injecting structures into the world that are not actually there. None of these structures can be poked with a stick. None of these structures can be shown to be a priori features of reality. But your operating system is filtering your every waking moment through these 6 structures. And the sausage that comes out the other end of this process is the psychological experience that you are currently having. An isolated self which feels itself separate from everything around it, and constantly attempts to resolve this separation by moving forward in time and space. You identify with this psychological experience, and you think it's yourself. And you think the world that this self is moving through is the real world. I want to point out something about this training that you might not be aware of yet. Our conversation is clearly designed to challenge your certainty about the basic mental structures you are imposing upon the world: linear time, solidity, and separation. Right now, this challenge seems to go like this. If you stop forcing the world into these mental structures, your experience of being alive changes radically, and this is true. But there's a more fundamental dynamic at work here. When you start experimenting with the idea that nothing moves in time, and that the gap between self and not self does not really exist, you are taking away all the mechanisms that are generating your current self, the you that you think you are. So the result is not a you that arrives at yet another future state, some deeper experience of being alive. The result is that this you itself ceases to get generated. This is why we are shining the light in all these unexplored corners of this self that you currently think you are. There is nothing really there. It's all being generated by your own OS. But right now you are still sure there's something in all of this that adds up to who you are. You feel that there's a cumulative you that arrives into each moment. In the next few modules, we will look at how your lifelong attempts to rejoin the not-self have created an arc of outer events that you feel adds up to your historical self, the you that has traveled through time and is arriving into the present moment. We are also going to look at your emotional self, the survivor of all your lifelong attempts to cross the gap. Taken together, the emotional self and the historical self add up to the you that seems to enter each moment from the past. You are sure that this self exists. It's your vehicle for being alive, so you dare not step out of it. But this vehicle has given you a rather mediocre experience of being alive. Peak moments are few and far between. You are forever separated from the world and from the universe. You are forever separate from everything you encounter, no matter how close you come. Yet you have spent your whole life trying to keep this vehicle in motion. You have spent your whole life moving through the world, protecting this separate self, attempting to arrange objects and people around you as you move towards various states of completion. This has taken up an enormous amount of time and energy. It has taken up your entire life. Here's what I want you to think about. Zen is simply a process of eliminating all this unnecessary activity. This results in a gradual increase in the number of real phenomenal encounters you are having with world, in which the words you and world are no longer useful. More and more, you are stepping into the void.